There was once a man named Darius Stone, a 29-year-old with dreams louder than thunder but actions as silent as a whisper. Every night, Darius would lie in bed and talk to himself about greatness. "I'm meant for more than this," he'd whisper. "I'm going to change my life," he'd swear. But every morning, the alarm would ring, and he'd hit snooze, again and again, until the day slipped away. Netflix stayed on. Goals stayed written in dusty notebooks. Time kept moving. Darius didn't. The breaking point. One gray Monday morning, Darius sat staring at his cracked phone screen. He had just missed another job interview, another chance. He looked around his tiny apartment, laundry piled up, bills unpaid, fridge nearly empty. And for the first time, something clicked, not in his mind, but in his soul. A question stabbed through his heart. If I died today, what would be left behind? A legacy? Or excuses? That night, Darius stood in front of his mirror. Eyes bloodshot, shoulders slumped, a shell of who he wanted to be. He didn't see a man. He saw laziness itself staring back. So he spoke, not to himself, but to his laziness. "You've lied to me. You've told me there's more time. That I'll do it tomorrow. That I'm too tired, too late, too unmotivated. But here's the truth, you're not protecting me. You're killing me. And tonight, I kill you back." There was no magic. No music swelling in the background. Just Darius, sitting up at 4:45 a.m. in silence. He didn't feel like it. He didn't want to. But he moved. He ran 2 miles in the cold. He wrote down his goals. He applied to 10 jobs. He read for 1 hour. He didn't care how he felt. He moved anyway. That day, Darius didn't wait for motivation. He declared war on his comfort. The days after, each day was a battle. Laziness whispered, "Rest today. It's been a long week. You'll start again tomorrow. Don't push too hard." But Darius had trained his mind to recognize the voice of the enemy. And every time it spoke, he replied with action. He built discipline like a muscle. He worked out. He studied. He built his online business. He faced rejection and didn't fold. He started saying no to distractions. 1 year later, Darius Stone no longer lived in that small, dim apartment. He ran a business that inspired thousands. He spoke on stages. His YouTube channel, Kill Your Laziness, hit 500,000 subscribers. But he never forgot the war. He still woke up early. Still talked to the mirror. Because he knew, laziness doesn't die once. It waits. It hides. It returns. Unless you kill it every day. Darius was different now. He was moving. People were noticing. Friends called him motivated. But motivation had nothing to do with it. He'd learned something powerful. Discipline isn't exciting. It's dirty. It's silent. It's thankless. But it's the only way out. And still, laziness didn't die. It came back in new clothes. "You've worked hard lately. You deserve to relax today. One cheat day won't hurt." That's when Darius read about a rule that changed everything. 66 days. That's what it takes to break a habit. To rewire your brain. To kill laziness, not just scare it. So, he made a decision. For the next 66 days, I will do everything I said I would do. Even when I hate it. Even when I'm tired. Even when nobody cares. Week 1 was fire. Wake up at 5 a.m. Workout. Cold shower. Study 2 hours. Work on his brand. Eat clean. Journal. Read. Sleep on time. But on day 7, his old habits returned for a final blow. He overslept. Missed the workout. Craved junk food. Phone buzzed with distractions. The voices came back. "One day off won't ruin it. You've done more than most. It's not a big deal." But this time, Darius had built a new identity. He looked in the mirror and said, "Old me would quit right now. But I'm not him anymore. I buried him. And I'm not digging him up." He restarted the day from the moment he stood up. Midnight workout. Cold shower. Goals reviewed. No 0 days. Ever. Midway through the war, the pain hit harder. Family didn't understand. Friends faded. Loneliness crept in. His body ached. His business wasn't growing as fast as he'd hoped. He stood in the rain one night, thinking of quitting. Then he remembered this one line: "You don't rise when it's easy. You rise when you bleed and keep going anyway." So Darius bled. And kept going. It wasn't glamorous. No confetti. No music. Just Darius, at dawn, looking at himself in the mirror. 66 days of war. He wasn't the same. His mind was sharp. His body was strong. His brand was growing. His words inspired others now. But more than anything, he was free. Free from the chains of the old version of himself. The lazy version. The dreamer who never moved. He'd killed him. And buried him deep. Years later, Darius now mentors others. He tells them the truth no one else says. Motivation is cheap. YouTube videos fade. Your why won't always work. What you need is this: kill laziness before it kills you. Every morning, every choice, every moment. You don't get strong by thinking. You get strong by moving through pain. And when people ask him how he changed his life, he never says motivation. He always says, "I won the 66-day war. And I've never looked back." Darius didn't even notice the moment it happened. He just woke up one morning, laced his shoes, and ran 5 miles. Not because it was on his to-do list, but because it's just what he does now. He used to say, "I'm trying to become disciplined." Now he said, "I am disciplined." That one word made all the difference. I am. The truth about change. Change doesn't happen when you try something once. It happens when you burn the old identity down. Darius didn't just stop being lazy. He stopped being the version of himself that ever tolerated it. He changed the way he walked. The way he breathed. The way he thought. He used to beg for motivation. Now he carried momentum like armor. By now, discipline wasn't something he had to force. It was instinct. Like brushing your teeth. Like breathing. But don't get it twisted. He still heard the whispers of laziness. They never truly die. They just get quieter when you stop feeding them. He embodied it. Not because he was perfect, but because he was consistent. Not because it was easy, but because he stopped asking for it to be. Discipline isn't a punishment, he said. It's a privilege. It's the doorway to your power. One rainy evening, Darius walked through a cemetery. Not because someone he knew had died, but because something inside him had. That day, he'd met a young man. 22 years old, full of potential. This man said all the right things. "I want to be a speaker. I want to help people. I want to be great." But when Darius asked, "So what did you do today to build that life?" the young man said, "Not much. I was tired. I'll try tomorrow." And that moment shattered Darius's heart. Because he saw his old self in that kid. The version of him who wasted years waiting for energy, waiting for clarity, waiting for motivation. In that cemetery, Darius found a bench. He sat, in silence, surrounded by names, by legacies, by lost time. Then he whispered, "Today, I bury the final version of my lazy self." He imagined a tombstone. "Here lies the man I could have been, if I kept waiting." He didn't cry. He didn't make a speech. He stood up, and walked away. Lighter, sharper, clearer. Because something had died. Not his potential. Not his dreams. But his addiction to comfort. 1. You do it anyway. You're tired? Do it anyway. You're sad? Do it anyway. You don't feel ready? No one does. You do it anyway. 2. Motion over emotion. He stopped letting feelings decide his fate. You don't have to feel like doing it. You just have to do it. Action rewires your brain. Emotion delays your progress. 3. Never miss twice. One bad day? Okay. 2 in a row? Unacceptable. Momentum is everything. If you break the chain, restart immediately. Winners don't stay down. They bounce back faster. Darius rebuilt his life. Not in one day. Not with a viral video. But brick by brick. 5 a.m. wake-ups when it hurt. 10 job rejections without quitting. 100 videos posted before the first one got traction. 1,000 moments where he could have chosen easy, and chose legacy instead. And one day, he looked around and realized, he no longer had to fight laziness. Because it no longer recognized him. The real enemy was never time. It wasn't other people. It wasn't your boss, your parents, or the economy. It was you. The version of you that tolerates average. The version of you that chooses easy. And that version must die. Because the new you, the focused you, the relentless you, is waiting on the other side of pain. Final words. You want to escape the graveyard of potential? Then you better move like your life depends on it. Because it does. Kill your laziness, or your dreams will die in silence. And no one's coming to save them. Except you.